So I'm back from a few days in the future. Took my camera in last night, started pulling some footage off, trying to compile the video I just posted, and realized that I forgot to hit the record button after I stopped it putting up the first piece of the insulation on the roof. So you didn't catch any of the insulation that I put on the roof, but it's all up, and sorry about that. But now we're going to start framing the walls, and I'm going to try to record that because I got to frame the walls before I can put the insulation on the walls, and that's where it's going to pick up right now. Also on the videos, if you'll go down to the bottom in the description, I'll have a list of how much I've spent on that particular section so that we can keep track on the way, and maybe if you're trying to build one of these, you'll know exactly how much you're going to be spending, things like that. So just check that out. At the bottom of every video, I will list how much that section cost, as far as how much the doors, how much the windows, how much insulation, all that kind of stuff. I'll have it listed. All right, back to the video. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how I've been doing this by myself. I pretty much built this whole thing by myself. I did have to have some help on getting the door because I'd never hung a door before, so I did have friends that help me shim that up properly. But I'm going to show you how I've been hanging these frames by yourself, because it's kind of a pain to try to hold them up here and weld them at the same time. So what I do is I hold it up here first where I need it, butt it up against each side, and then I take one of the little clips, one of the L brackets, lay it up here, hold it, mark it where it goes, lay it down, put the L bracket in it right here, and once I have that, I hold it back up here where it needs to be. I get my drill, mark a hole, and I just lay this down against my legs. And I grab my drill and I drill a hole. I get a hole drill. Got one of my batteries on charge, so I'm having to swap back and forth. And I get my impact driver and a self-tapping screw. Put it in there. Hold it back up there for the third time. Line up a hole. And that holds it up there for me. And then I can get up here with the welder and the other clips, hold it down, and weld my clips where they need to be. I usually weld the first one, the middle one first, and then I hold down each side, and then just put my clips on each end and weld it on down. That's what I'm doing. Makes it fairly easy to be able to do by yourself, and it helps out a lot just having it held up there so you ain't trying to hold it and weld it at the same time. Just take that L bracket and I just leave it in there afterwards, and there ain't no big deal. It just gives it something else to hold on top so that it supports it and it's not relying on just the welds to hold up there, because it's not going to break that screw out. All right, probably get the GoPro going. Okay, so we have put all of the framing around the roof. So we got a couple of clips of that. It's just in order to keep it going by yourself and keep filming and all that, you just pretty much got to do clips is what I figured out. So you can't just film the whole process. What I did is I'm getting ready to put in the middle stripping, and what I'm wanting 4 foot from the bottom of this one to the top of this one, so that one of them 4x8 sheets of this 1-inch foam will just slip in there. It'll be a good tight fit. So what I did was I put a 2x4 on top of these little stands. I just got these from Harbor Freight. They were like $7. I had a coupon for them, and they had a limit of 3, and I just got 2 of them. Only needed 2, but I didn't mess them up to where I can't use them as what they're supposed to be, sawhorses. I left enough room I can get a 2x4 on there to cut them in case I had to pull them out and do something. But what I did is I screwed a 2x4, which is 3.5 inch, this way, up on top of both of them. And then I put a piece of 1x4, which is 3/4 of an inch, on top of that, which gives me my exact 4 foot from the bottom of that board to the top of this one. So now I'm going to be able to just take and stick these underneath them, verify that I got them at the right height. See, they can kick out a little bit. Verify I got them at the right height across the way, put my clips on, and weld them. And it'll be a whole lot quicker. And putting that top run in really sucked because your welding hood was hitting the roof and you could only get up there so high. I'm glad I had got that done. Let's just put it that way. Now I can walk around freely and do what I got to do. I can get everything. I can push up against it. It's going to be a whole lot better. So yeah, we'll throw on the GoPro and film putting a couple of these up. So all the framing's done. I've got framing on all the walls, and I've started putting up the insulation on the walls. Like I said, I went 4 foot from the bottom of that 2x to the top of the other 2x so that I could not have to cut these. I could just put in the middle row. I could just put all those in without a problem. The reason I haven't put them down here yet is, for one, the breaker box goes right there, and I want to have it installed before I put that piece of foam in there so I can cut around it. And then this has got the window on this side, so I haven't done that side yet and put that full sheet on there. Probably it's going to be kind of like a mix and match kind of deal, because what I'm wanting to do is leave the bottom insulation out. I don't want to put the bottom insulation in until I get my electrical run. So the boxes I've got are going to fit right inside the corrugations. So they're going to sit on the front of the 2x4 screwed in, and the back of the box will go inside the little corrugation. I won't go all the way in to touch it, but that'll give it the clearance for it to be set in there. So what I want to do is put all the insulation up top, across the top side, and on the 2 front doors, and have all the insulation on the first row done. And then I can cut my boxes out of this insulation where I can see where the corrugations are. I can just cut them out, put the box in, screw it in, because I'm just going to put 1 screw in them so that I can back the screw out, run my electrical into it when I start running electrical wires, running into it, put the plug in it, screw it back down, and just so on and so forth. And I want to do all that before I put the Blandex up, and then I can cut around the boxes whenever I'm putting the Blandex up. But it's coming right along. For being working on this thing for about a week now is how long I've been working on it, 7 days. And this is how far I've gotten. I got the windows in, the doors in, the insulation on the roof, all the framing done, and starting to lay insulation, and we'll be mounting the breaker box probably this evening. And then tomorrow I'll be continuing insulation, and y'all pick up there. I'll pick up and shoot a couple of videos of that, and probably cutting the electrical boxes, but it won't be actual running the electrical. That'll be a video of its own. All right, stay tuned. Just a little update.